Hi everybody, it's Jamie here. Happy New Year. I hope you've all had a really great Christmas and a good New Year. Today I have an 8.5 by 11 layout using some of the new goodies that I got from my haul video from yesterday. I'm just using my guillotine now just to trim down the photos. I printed 2 3x4 of a photo, and then I printed 1 in 6x4 because I wasn't sure sort of how I wanted it to look at the moment. I do fiddle around for a little bit just trying to figure out exactly the formation that I wanted, and I do decide to go with this one that I have right now. I do trim the photos down a little bit more, but this is basically how it does end up. So I'm using the Journal Studio by Scrapbook. I think it's an ephemera pack, and I sort of saw the sort of mustard colour of my boyfriend's pants, and I really wanted to draw that colour and also black because of the black and white photo. So they're sort of the main colours that focus in this layout. I really love how this layout turned out. It's probably one of my most favourite layouts recently. I'm just using my guillotine again to trim down the sheet of cardstock to 11 because it's just that little bit longer and it doesn't fit into the page protector, so I always just trim off a little bit extra down there. I'm just starting to really make the decision definitely of the formation that I wanted to go with, so I'm going to grab some of the Kaiser craft papers that I got from my haul video, and the back of this one I really want to use that pink to do a pattern paper background layout, but I really love that mustard colour and I thought it would work really well with the crepe paper one. I love mixing collections together, but I always make sure I have a main colour that sort of connects the two of them together. I'm using my guillotine again. I love this thing, it's so good. I use it for making resources when I'm on pracs for teaching at uni. I'm just using that to trim the photo down a little bit more, and then I'm also going to, I think, trim down the other photo again. It's really heavy, so I can't keep it on my desk because it takes up too much space. I have to put it on the floor, so I have to keep bending over to pick it up. And this is my boyfriend and I. As you can see in this photo, there's a bit of a height difference between us. I'm actually wearing heels in this photo as well that I've cut off. So yeah, there's a bit of a height difference between the two of us. So I'm going to matte the smaller photo on this piece of mustard floral colour. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but I think it's the Fleur collection. Fleur. I'm not French, I think it's French. I'm not sure how that word is pronounced. So I'm using the small one because I can still use a decent amount of the other side of the paper for a pattern paper background layout. Because I'm doing trying to do pattern paper backgrounds now, I like using sort of simple backgrounds and not really bold backgrounds because they still, a little bit scary when you're trying something new, so I like to ease into it. So I just made a tiny little paper layer with that one, and I'm going to get some black tissue paper in a moment and matte that big photo, but I'm going through the ephemera pack and I found this really long tag shape, and I'm going to use that also as a paper layer. I thought it was really cool because it's got that mustard colour, it's also got that pink, and it's drawing in that flower embellishment that I grabbed and I wanted to use. I'm just quickly going through the ephemera pack. I hadn't actually used the ephemera pack yet. I hadn't even opened it actually. After I filmed the whole video, I got straight into doing this layout. I've had this layout now sitting on my desk for me to do for probably two or 3 months, and I've been waiting for this haul to come because I really wanted to use some new stuff for it. I'm just quickly going through the ephemera pack again. I'm going to use just a bit of twine from my stash to use that tag as well. This paper pack is just stunning. I love it. I love the colours of it. I really love using mustard in sort of like that coral pink colour. I think they're really beautiful colours, and I also think that they're very neutral colours and they work with a lot of photos. As you can see, these two photos don't have a lot of colours. Here I am just using some black tissue paper from my stash to matte the photo. So mustard and like peach, I think that they're very neutral colours and you can use them with any layout. The photo that I have is black and white, and then I have there's not any main colours that are calling out of that photo, so I really wanted to use this because the photo was quite plain in colour, so to speak. So I'm just using some double-sided tape. Again, that double-sided tape is from Kmart. It works really well. I'm about to grab another sheet of paper from the Fleur. I don't know how to say it. If anyone can tell me how to say that, if it's French at all, I don't know. Anyway, I'm using this paper to matte the back of this larger piece. The back of this sheet of paper is like emerald bright green. I'm not a big fan of green, so I'm not too worried about using a big chunk of it, just because green isn't the colour for me. Don't like it. We don't have to all like the same colours. It's just not the colour that I like to use. So then I'm going to stick down the tag right on the back of that, just using double-sided tape. Because this layout has no mixed media in it at all, I think I only use wet glue on like heavy embellishments, and I just use double-sided tape for everything else. You can use any glue that you like if you wanted to replicate this layout. Doesn't really matter. I'm just using a bit of black twine from my stash and folding it in half because I wanted to get like a few strands of twine. I didn't want to have just one because I like to look a little bit more bulky. I like my layouts to look a bit bulky and weighty. I don't like flat layouts, and I think adding just a little bit of extra twine makes it look a little bit more dimensional. So I just stuck that down straight on with some double-sided tape, and I'm going to stick this photo down with some double-sided tape as well. I put it just slightly off-centered so that it kind of sort of looks like a semicircle going down, and then the big floral piece is also going to go down and slightly off the side so that your eye kind of follows the photos around, and then you look when I put the title down the bottom. Sort of composition, thinking about it as I go. Most layouts I do try to plan a little bit ahead before I do it. You'll see that with next week's layout. I did a lot of planning before the layout, but this layout I sort of just went with the flow, which I loved doing. It was so fun using all of the new stuff that I've gotten, especially since it was the very first layout, so I had everything to play with. So here I am grabbing the thickers that I got from my haul as well, and also those jelly bean soup stickers. And I'm going to do the words love you forever, I believe is what it's called. Sticking that down. The thing that I love about these is that if you turn them to the side, they actually have like a pink foam, and then it's copper foil over the top, and it looks really, really cool. I'm using just the clear packaging on there so I can line it up and see what it is. Because it's clear, you know, I can see through it and I can see where it's going to sit. So I have placed it down just a little bit over the top of the photo, and then I'm going to put the forever directly in line with it. I was going to put it over that ephemera piece, but I didn't want to cover it up just because it's so stunning. I love that ephemera piece. It's so gorgeous. I didn't want to cover it up at all. I'm just pulling off all the words. One thing I found with these is that they get very crinkled. See, here I am. There's my head. I'm putting it off to the side, and I decided to use these. They're like very whimsical, and I thought they'd be a good alternative to the very block letter of the copper foiled ones. Anyway, back to the copper foiled ones. They do get very crinkled quite easily when you peel them off, which is something a bit weird. You can't really tell in the video, but they're a bit crinkled, and I did try to squish them out a little bit. This one didn't come off very well. And then I'm just going to stick down the U, so it says love you forever. Oh, so cute. Very, very original title. I couldn't think of an original title. I think A Layout in a Few Weeks is a very strange title that I have, but I like to do very generic titles, but I also like to do very out there titles that, you know, not anyone would kind of use. But again, this layout's very generic. So here I am using the 12 by 12 sticker sheet. I'm just using a little bit of wet glue because a little bit of the gold foil had peeled off there, so I'm just using that to stick down. And this isn't that, it says the best is from the Journal Studio from a pack as well, but it doesn't end up making it on the layout. I'm just cutting the edge off of sticking down that, and I felt like it was missing something, so I added doodly border. I think I'm very much in a sort of border phase at the moment. I think I want to try to do sort of a different border, maybe grab like a stencil or something a bit different, but I love adding borders. I feel like it really contains it, and what's really abrupt, and, you know, your eyes just like, oh, okay, there's a border there. So I just love them. I think most layouts I've been doing lately have borders, and I think it looks really, really nice. So here I'm getting to play with the roller stamps. I'm so excited to play with these. I've wanted roller stamps for the longest time, and when I got them, I was so excited. I had to take them out of the packaging and use them. I think I stamped everything like 20 times each just to work out exactly how it is, because I don't have a lot of stamps and I was really nervous about using them. So I'm just grabbing a bit of spare paper here to check. I believe I go with my favourite from this one. This is an Amy Tan roller stamp. I'm pretty sure it's better together. So I'm just checking what it is. I did this one first, which was U plus me equals we, but it was a little too small, so I decided to go with my favorite. Again, I wanted to practice it first because I feel like once you put them down, it's hard to sort of take them off. I saw this really long, like, it's a heart sort of sticker. I'm using it kind of as a shelf for the layout because I felt like down the bottom needed something a little bit more, and then I'm just using the extra right at the top to kind of connect the two together. So they're just, I'm kind of thinking of them as little shelves. And then these are the puffy stickers from the Journal Studio by Crepe Paper thing. I think it's a journaling thing, that's my assumption. And I'm also grabbing some wood veneer pieces from my stash. So there's a little heart that says love you, then a little star, and then just a plain heart. And I'm also grabbing a few resin pieces from my stash. These are just some flowers. I got all of these from eBay, and I've just ordered some new ones as well. They're really cheap. You can get, I think it's 20 of the resin pieces for $1, shipped for free here to Australia, which is such a cheap embellishment, especially for here in Australia when things are so expensive. So I think I have pretty much every colour of a resin piece, and I'm just, again, using some wet glue. My nozzle wasn't coming out, so I do need to fix that now. So I'm just squeezing the bottle to try and get some wet glue out. That wet glue is from, I think it's from the Reject store, actually. I think my boyfriend bought it to do a project at uni, and then he gave it to me, and I've just been using it ever since. It works perfectly fine. It's just a PVA glue, I think, but it's really good. It works. It dries clear. It's perfect for what I need it for. Where have I disappeared to? I was in my little kind of clear storage thing, just looking for some new stickers. So I'm just using some, I think it's Memento is the brand, maybe, just to put down those roller stamps. Again, this one says my favorite, and then I have a Maggie Holmes one as well. And I believe I used, what did I use? I can't remember. Oh, Treasured Memories. Treasured Memories. Very, very loving. And I'm just, again, doing the ghosting thing. I saw this on Inky Quill, and it's really, really quite nice, I think. I really love it. And I also love how it's added a black element to it. I'm just using a few of the puffy stickers now, sticking them down. And also some of the cardstock stickers from that Kaisercraft collection, just to add a few more elements to it. This is a really embellishment layout that I haven't actually done a lot lately, which I'm really happy about. These are clear stickers. They're from the Memory Planner collection. That was on sale at scrapbook.com, so I got a lot of that. And I'm going to use one of this. It's like it's not exactly mustard yellow, but it's a yellow color, so I'm just sticking that on because it's clear. It's really popping right here, but it's actually a lot more subtle in real life. And then I'm going to go grab the pink one as well. And they just say generic things like happy, or I think one of them says I feel so loved, possibly. So I'm just going to stick those down, and I'm just using my needlepoint tweezers to know sort of precise where they like to do it, especially with putting something down onto a photo. You really want it to be precise. Where have I oh, here we go. So I'm grabbing some heart stickers from my stash, and I'm going to stick those down. I've had these for ages. They come in like a pack of 6. I think I've had them for over a year now. They're really great. So I'm just using some of the orange ones. They do look very mustardy in real life though, so I'm using those again to draw a little bit more of the colour in. And then I'm going to grab the cardstock stickers again from that Fleur collection. It's actually a really beautiful collection. If you're looking for sort of something that's it's very floral. It's very floral, which I love. I love floral stuff. And I'm about to grab one of the washies from the We Are Memory Keepers kit. I figured because my boyfriend's parents gave it to me, I thought it would be really nice to use that on this layout. And I'm just sticking that down underneath those hearts. I do pull them back a little bit because I wanted it to sit underneath it. It does kind of have a little bit of clearness to it, but it is... it would definitely show over the heart, so I wanted it to go underneath that, and I'm just trimming off the excess. I'm going to grab another washi tape from my stash. This one is some little gold hearts. It's a teeny tiny washi tape. It's from Kmart. I got it a while ago, but it's really beautiful, and I love using it, so I'm just sticking that down. I'm just using some Studio Calico Gold Mist, adding some dots on there, and then I'm going to add some Heidi Shine one, and I believe that's blush. And then I'm going to call this layout done. I love how this layout's turned out. I think it's really, really gorgeous. I'm going to have some close-up photos in the end. Here's a close-up as well. I hope you've all had a wonderful year, and I hope you enjoyed this layout. Thank you all for watching, everybody. Bye!